Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we will be discussing Cambridge O levels, biology, paper 1, May June 2019, variant 1 2. This paper is of 1 hour and it contains 40 MCQs. Each MCQ question have 4 options and you have to select one option. Let's get started. Question number 1 says which two structures are found in all plant epidermal cell? Okay, let's read out the options. First option is cell wall and chloroplast. Second option is cell wall and nucleus. As we all know that plant cells have cell wall. The cell wall is the main component of the plant cell. So let's look at first two options A and B. One of them would be correct. The epidermal plant cell do not have chloroplast as it do not do the process of photosynthesis. So option B would be correct. Cell wall and nucleus. It only has cell wall and nucleus and cytoplasm. It do not contains chloroplast. Question 2. Which process only occurs by diffusion? Option A. Movement of sugars in foam. No. Movement of sugar in foam occurs by active transport. Movement of water in xylem. Yes, it occurs by diffusion. But let's read the other two options too. Uptake of carbon dioxide by the blood. It also occurs by diffusion and uptake of glucose by intestinal villi. So it occurs by active transport, while option C or option B. One of these options would be correct. The uptake of carbon dioxide by blood only occurs by diffusion. So option C would be correct, while the movement of water can be occurred by osmosis or diffusion in both ways. But the uptake of carbon dioxide is only occurs by diffusion. This is question number 3. The diagram shows some plants in root of a plant that is absorbing water from soil. How does the water potential of the cell mark 2 differs from the water potential of cell marked 1 and 3? So they are asking that what is the water potential of 2 and how it differs from the water potential of 1 and water potential of 3. So root hair cell is absorbing water from the soil. We can say that this is soil and here is water and it is absorbing this water. So when it absorbs the water comes first to the cell 1. The water goes first to the cell 1. It means that the cell 1 have higher water potential than 2. So the cell 2 has lower water potential than 1 and cell 3 has lower water potential than cell 2 as it is after 2. So the correct option for this would be C. Lower water potential than 1 and higher water potential than 3. This is question number 4. Which graph shows the effect of temperature on the rate of reaction of catalyzed by amylase? The 4 graphs are given. According to graph A, rate of reaction is here, temperature is here. As the temperature increases, rate of reaction increases. And at this temperature, you can say right before 40, like on 37 degrees Celsius or 38 or 39, the rate of reaction is optimum and then it suddenly decreases. In graph B, it shows that the rate of reaction is optimum at almost 40 and then decreases as the temperature increases. C and D are totally incorrect. So option A or B would be correct. The correct option is B. Okay, this is question number 5. What is the effect of lack of nitrate ions on the plant leaves? As we all know that nitrate ions are essential for plants for growth. Let's read out the options. All the leaves turn very dark green. No. Leaves lose their yellow color. No. Leaves wilt. No. Young leaves grow very slowly. The option D is correct. Word equation describe which word equation describes photosynthesis? The word equation for photosynthesis is carbon dioxide plus water, carbohydrates, and oxygen. So the correct option is C. Question number 7. A student performed an experiment to see whether chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. What is a suitable plant for this experiment? Let's read out the options. A plant in a closed jar with no excess carbon dioxide. This option is incorrect. A plant that has white patches. If the plant has white patches, so this plant is good for the experiment. During the experiment, you would know that the plant isn't green and it has white patches, so at that portion, the process of photosynthesis isn't occurring. So option B is correct. Question number 8. The diagram shows a section of wall of small intestine into which structure are more lipids component of the fat of the diet absorbed from the transport for the transport to the rest of the body. As we all know that in the part A, which is lymphatic vessel, the fats are absorbed. A surgical procedure involves the removal of gallbladder. What are patients who have undergone this procedure not able to do? When the gallbladder is removed, gallbladder is stores bile. If it is removed, the storage of bile is not possible for that person. 9C. The length of the three parts of the human alimentary canal are shown. Part PQR. P have length 35, Q have length 150, and R have length 26. Which row identifies these parts? So option A says P is colon. No, because colon is not so long. The longest part of the alimentary canal is ileum. So we can say that ileum is part P, 35 centimeter, 350 centimeter. The second longest part would be colon, and the third would be duodenum. So option C is correct. Question 11. Which statement describes the movement of water through the root of stem of a plant? Which statement describes the movement of water through the stem of a plant? Water moves up the stem as it evaporates from the leaf. Yes, the statement seems correct as water moves up as the as it evaporates from the leaf. Water moves up the leaf as it pushed by water entering the roots. No, this statement is incorrect. Water moves up by the stem because it is used in photosynthesis. Yes, it is used in photosynthesis. But actually, when it evaporates from the leaves, uh, more water comes from the roots through xylem. Water move up the stem by osmosis. No. Option A is correct for question 11. This is question number 12. A plant placed in water containing black dye after 24 hours. The plant was removed and sections were taken from the root and stem. Which diagram shows the results? Firstly, you should remember that in a root cell, in the root, the star-shaped cells are always xylem, and the rest of the part in the circle is phloem in roots. And in stems, the inner side part is always xylem, while the outside part, this which I'm trying to draw, is always phone. Okay, so let's look at the options. First option, this is xylem. The black dye moves up through xylem, and in stem the black dye also moves up through xylem, and this black part is xylem. So according to this, option A is correct. While in option B, in phloem the black dye is water and it doesn't move in phloem. In phloem, only nutrients and the food prepared by the leaves is moved, is translocated. This is question number 13. In a muscle, which two substances show net movement from the plasma into the tissue fluid? Okay. So from the plasma into the tissue fluid, the materials that move are glucose and oxygen. Question number 14. Through which valve does the blood passes at it as it leaves the right ventricle, and which structure does it reaches next? Next. Let's read out all the options. First, they are talking about valve. First valve, A option says arterioventricular bicuspid, arterioventricular tricuspid, semilunar, and semilunar. As we all know that when the blood is pumped from right ventricle, so it moves through the semilunar valve. So option C or option D would be correct. So the first structure they next reaches is pulmonary artery. From that pulmonary artery, the blood is carried to the lungs. So the correct option is D. Which statement about white blood cells is correct? They ingest bacteria by the process called phagocytosis. Cytosis. Yes, the statement is correct. They can produce antigens in response to foreign antibodies. They convert fibrinogen into fibrin when bleeding occurs. No. They transport toxin from blood tissues to liver. No. These three statements are incorrect. Question 16. At night, the temperature is 3 degrees Celsius. A person goes outside for 30 minutes and their body temperature drops. The temperature was 3 degrees Celsius outside, and when he moved outside for 30 minutes, the body temperature drops. What is the reason for this temperature change? Let's read out the options. Person cannot get rid of carbon dioxide. It isn't like that. Carbon dioxide and temperature, no relation. The person has too much glucose to respire, no. There is less oxygen in the cold air breathing, no. The respiratory enzymes function more slowly, yes. This option is correct because when the temperature decreases, the enzymes are not dead, but they work slowly. So this option is correct. The table shows the percentage of four gases inspired in expired air. Which gas is carbon dioxide? As we know that the concentration of carbon dioxide in air is 0.04%. When we breathe it in and when we breathe it out, the percentage of carbon dioxide in the air is 0.04%. And when we inhale this air, so we inhale 0.04% carbon dioxide, and when we exhale this air, we exhale 4% carbon dioxide. So let's look at the options. 0.04% is the correct inhaled percentage of carbon dioxide, and exhaled percentage 4.14% is correct. So the option A is correct for question number 17. This is question number 18. The graph shows how the pressure and the volume inside the lungs change during one complete breath. At which point are muscles of the diaphragm start to contract? As we all know, when we inhale, the muscles in of the muscles of the diaphragm starts to contract. So the let's look at the graph. At this point, the volume of the lungs is increasing to the point A. At the point A, the diaphragm muscle starts to contract. So point A. Option A is correct for question number 18. Then we have question number 19. It says, how does the composition of the blood in the renal vein, blood composition of renal vein differs from that in the renal artery? So let's read out the options. There are two columns, one of the carbon dioxide concentration and second of the urea concentration. We all know that in renal vein, the renal vein goes away from the kidney and the renal artery comes to the kidney. So higher carbon dioxide in renal vein is always higher, as for example, this is the kidney. The renal vein comes to the kidney. The renal artery, sorry, the renal artery comes to the kidney and the renal vein goes away from the kidney. Okay. Artery, A for artery and A for away. Artery always goes away from the heart. Remember this thing. So, in renal vein, the carbon dioxide concentration is more, as in renal artery, it brings oxygen to the kidney and takes away carbon dioxide. So, carbon dioxide in renal vein is higher, and the urea concentration in the renal vein is lower, as here in renal artery, urea concentration is high. It gives urea to the kidney, and in renal vein, the urea concentration is low. So option B is correct for question number 19. Question number 20. How will the skin of an athlete respond during a long run? Two columns are given. Column number 1 says that the weight of the blood vessels in the skin surface, and column number 2, sweating. When the athlete is running and the run is long, so the sweating increases. We have two options for sweating increase, B and or D. And the weight of the blood vessels in the skin surface increases. So option D is correct, as we all know that when the weight of the blood vessels increases, more sweating occurs. So this was the part 1 for the first 20 MCQs of May June 2019 P12. I hope you understood it. Thank you.